What if I told you that this movie, A Family Affair, isn't just another rom-com? What if this scandalous romance between a mom and her daughter's much younger, super famous boss is actually a secret masterclass in ancient philosophy? On the surface, it's a simple setup. You've got Nicole Kidman as Brooke, a writer who's been hiding from the world. You've got Zac Efron as Chris Cole, a self-obsessed movie star who runs from any real commitment. It seems like a recipe for disaster, right? But if you look closer, there's something else going on. This isn't just a story about a surprising couple. It's an instruction manual for how to love, how to be resilient, and how to find happiness when the world is throwing chaos at you. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on this movie to show you the 2,000-year-old philosophy that's secretly running the whole show. We're going to see how the core ideas of Stoicism shape every single decision Brooke and Chris make, turning one of cinema's most unlikely pairings into an incredibly strong love story. If you're ready for more breakdowns like this, make sure to subscribe to Stoic now, like this video, and share your comment with us below. Section 1. A Stoic Primer. More than just a stiff upper lip. First things first, let's get one thing straight about Stoicism. When you hear the word Stoic, you probably picture someone who's totally emotionless, who just grinds through pain without a single complaint. That's a huge misconception. Real Stoicism isn't about not feeling emotions. It's about not being a slave to them. This philosophy was created by thinkers in ancient Greece and Rome, guys like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, who were obsessed with one practical question: how do we live a good, happy life when so much is out of our control? Their answer was brilliant, and it all boils down to one simple idea: the dichotomy of control. Imagine two circles. In the first circle is everything you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your choices, your character. That's it. That's your kingdom. The second, much bigger circle has everything you can't control: your health, what other people think, your reputation, and whether someone loves you back. The Stoics said the secret to a happy life is to focus all your energy on the first circle, the stuff you can control, and learn to accept the stuff in the second circle with grace. This doesn't mean you don't care about things. It just means you don't let them ruin your peace of mind. A Stoic doesn't hide from sadness or anger. They ask, is this feeling coming from something I can control or something I can't? The goal is to live with virtue, things like wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. So a Stoic love story isn't about two people who aren't passionate. It's about a love that is tough, smart, and built on something way deeper than just feelings. It's a love built on character. And that is the exact framework for what happens between Brooke and Chris. Section 2. The dichotomy of control and action, Brooke's fear and acceptance. When we meet Brooke, her life is all about control. She's a widow, a celebrated writer, and her world is quiet, safe, and predictable. After the trauma of her husband's death and finding out he wanted to divorce her right before he got sick, she built massive walls around her heart to keep from getting hurt again. And then Chris Cole shows up. He is the definition of an external. Everything a Stoic would say is outside of your control. He's a movie star whose entire life is based on public opinion. He's way younger, which invites all kinds of judgment. And he has a terrible track record with women. For Brooke, he's a hurricane headed straight for the life she so carefully manages. Her first reaction is pure fear. She's terrified of the outcome. She's scared of getting hurt, of being just another fling, of the heartbreak she's already imagining. You can feel this anxiety in every early scene with him. She's constantly pulling back, worrying about things that haven't even happened, things that are, by Stoic definition, totally out of her control. The moment that changes everything comes from her late husband's mom, Layla. As Brooke is panicking about needing Chris, Layla drops a line of pure Stoic genius: the end is none of your business. Think about that for a second. The end is none of your business. That's the dichotomy of control in 5 perfect words. Layla is telling Brooke that the future, whether this relationship lasts a week or a lifetime, is out of her hands. To be paralyzed by fear of something you can't control is a mistake. As Layla says, there's no point worrying about tomorrow when you know you love Chris today. This is Brooke's call to action. Focus on the present. Focus on what you can control. What can she control? Her own choices, right now. She can either hide from her feelings because of fear, or she can act with courage and grab the happiness that's right in front of her. After this talk, you see a huge shift in Brooke. The fear doesn't just disappear, but she's no longer letting it call the shots. Her decision to be with Chris becomes an act of stoic courage. She accepts she can't control his feelings or where this all goes. All she can control is her own choice to be vulnerable, to love, and to experience joy. She passes her first big stoic test. Section 3. Reason over passion. Chris's challenge to grow. So if Brooke's test was about conquering her fear of the outside world, Chris's is all about mastering his inner world. When we meet Chris, he's a guy ruled by impulse. He's a movie star who manufactures emotions for a living, and his personal life is just as chaotic. He's famous for serial dating and for his signature breakup move, getting his assistant, Zara, to do the dirty work while he sends a standardized gift of diamond earrings. He literally runs away from difficult emotions. This is the opposite of stoic reason. Chris isn't making choices, he's just reacting. He gets swept up in attraction, and as soon as it gets complicated, he hits the eject button and outsources the emotional fallout. But his relationship with Brooke changes the game. She's not just a fling. She's smart, deep, and their connection is built on real conversations. For the first time, a relationship is asking more of him than just passion. It's demanding that he show up, be honest, and actually think. You can see him struggling with this. He knows he has a habit of self-sabotage. At one point, he almost falls back into his old pattern. He even has the breakup earrings ready to go, but he can't do it. The thought of losing her is too real. That hesitation is the start of his big change. He's finally pausing to think instead of just reacting. The big misunderstanding, when Zara finds the earrings and assumes he's about to dump her mom, is the ultimate test for him. The old Chris would have used this messy, painful situation as the perfect excuse to run. But the new Chris, the one who's been changed by Brooke, does something totally different. He doesn't run. He sits with the pain, thinks about what happened, and figures out what he really wants. When he decides to win her back, it's not some impulsive, grand romantic gesture. It's a thought-out plan. He shows up ready to have a real conversation, admitting he was scared and fell back on his old habits. This is a huge moment of stoic self-awareness. He's taking responsibility for his character instead of being a victim of his impulses. By the end of the film, Chris has moved from a life run by feelings to one guided by reason and choice. If you're finding this mix of movies and philosophy as mind-blowing as I do, hit that subscribe button right now and let me know in the comments. Do you buy this stoic theory, or do you see their relationship completely differently? I really want to know what you think. Section 4. The stoic ideal of a relationship, mutual growth, and virtue. Here's one of the coolest and most radical ideas in stoic philosophy. A good relationship has nothing to do with being the same age, having the same background, or any of the other stuff we usually look for. For the Stoics, a great relationship is a partnership in virtue. It's about two people helping each other become better human beings. As one modern Stoic writer put it, partners can be very different and still find stability, so long, of course, as there is reciprocal growth through virtue. That line basically describes Brooke and Chris's entire relationship. On paper, they make no sense. She's a quiet writer in her 50s. He's a party boy movie star in his 30s. But through a Stoic lens, they are a perfect match because their differences are exactly what help them grow. Think about it. Chris pushes Brooke out of her comfort zone. He sees her as a brilliant, amazing woman, not just a widow. When he gives her that beautifully bound collection of her own essays, it's not just a sweet gift. He's showing her how incredible she is. He helps her find the courage to step back into the world and own her life again. And what does she do for him? She gives him the stability he's never had. Her calm, intelligent vibe is an anchor in his chaotic life. She doesn't care about his fame. She challenges him to be a better person. She inspires him to practice honesty by facing his own fears and temperance by controlling his impulses. Their relationship becomes a cycle of growth. Her influence helps him become a better boss to Zara. His influence helps her break free from a decade of grief. This is the heart of a Stoic partnership. It's not about two halves making a whole. It's about two whole people choosing to walk together, helping each other become better along the way. Their weird, asymmetrical bond is actually the source of all its strength. Section 5. Amor, fati, and overcoming the externals. There's one final, super powerful Stoic concept we need to talk about, amor fati. It's Latin for a love of one's fate. This doesn't mean just putting up with whatever happens to you. It means actively, joyfully embracing everything, the good, the bad, the painful, as part of your journey. It's about learning to love your reality. The Emperor Marcus Aurelius said it best: accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. This is the ultimate test for Brooke and Chris, because their relationship is constantly getting attacked by things they can't control. The biggest one is Brooke's own daughter, Zara. She is horrified and angry, convinced Chris is just going to break her mom's heart. Then there's the judgment from everyone else about the age gap and the power dynamic. It's a ton of external noise that could easily destroy a relationship. But Brooke and Chris don't let it. They choose Amor fati. They don't try to justify their love to the world or get consumed by the drama. They just focus on their connection and accept that the outside disapproval is part of their unique story. Brooke's reaction to Zara is a perfect example. When Zara confronts her, Brooke doesn't break down or get angry. She stands her ground with quiet strength. She validates Zara's feelings but refuses to sacrifice her own happiness to make her daughter feel better. She's accepting the reality of the situation, both the joy of her new love and the pain of her daughter's anger. Chris, too, learns to ignore the external noise. He goes from being obsessed with his public image to focusing only on his integrity and his real feelings for Brooke. Their final reunion is the ultimate act of loving their fate. They've both felt the pain of the breakup, which was caused by outside interference, but they still choose to come back together. They aren't chasing some perfect, problem-free fantasy. They are choosing to love the whole messy package, the complications with Zara, the public judgment, and their own flaws. They are loving the people fate brought them together with, and doing it with all their hearts, just like Marcus Aurelius said. So, when you put it all together, a family affair, a movie you might have written off as a fluffy rom-com, is secretly a deep dive into loving the Stoic way. Brooke, who was terrified of the future, learned to use the dichotomy of control to focus only on what she could change, her own choice to love in the present moment. Chris, who was a slave to his impulses, learned to use reason and self-reflection to become a man of character and commitment. Together, they built a relationship that wasn't about being a perfect couple, but about being partners in growth, making each other better, braver people. And finally, they practiced Amor fati, loving their fate, by embracing their messy, complicated, beautiful story without shame. A family affair shows us that Stoicism isn't some cold, boring philosophy. It's a blueprint for a stronger, more meaningful way to love. It's a love based on appreciating someone's character, not possessing them. It's a love that's strong because it's not afraid of a bad ending. The film leaves us with a huge question. What if the strongest kind of love isn't about wild passion, but about quiet, reasoned acceptance? What if the secret to a real, lasting relationship isn't finding the perfect person, but practicing these ancient virtues with the person fate throws your way? That might just be the real family affair. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this analysis, hit the button to subscribe to Stoic now and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. See you in the next video.